Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to another brand new week. You will get TikTok.
Wow.
So yes, I do hope that how do you pronounce it? Ciara hasn't hit you too badly. It's been really, really bad here. There's gusts of wind and the rain and then to top it off, we're supposedly getting some snow. So I don't know how true it is. I do know that they've had snow in Derbyshire and in Nottinghamshire. So, that's just out road from us. So does that mean we're going to get it? So snow angels. So, I mean, same as I said to Mr. P, we could get up in the morning and it snowed overnight. I don't know. It's they've been sort of forecasting this snow since before December. So it's a case of waiting and seeing. So that's all we can do is just wait and see. So if it does snow, I'm off.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Well, some as I say, it's a case of waiting and seeing, really, isn't it? When you think about it, because they've been promising this since about October, November time. So, it's just a case really of waiting and seeing. So I've been quite busy today. I've been making, what did I make? Chocolate cupcakes. So, yes, and the minute Callum came through the door, yeah, throw a snowball at window. So basically, with the wind and rain and everything, Chris took Callum to college this morning and he actually picked him up from college. So Callum had literally just walked through the door and he spied the cupcakes that I'd made and he's going, "Oh, can I have one? Can I have one?" And Chris says to him, "Hang on, lad." He says, "Get your coat off first."
I think they shut the front door.
So basically, as soon as he walked through the door, he wanted one. So, I was going to make these yesterday, and then I couldn't be bothered. So I thought, why not? I'll make them today. We were supposed to be going up to Johnny Five's, which is just up the road. Well, when I say just up the road, about 30, 35, 40 minutes away. But with the bad storm and everything, we didn't want to risk it because in parts of Yorkshire there's been flooding. So, hi, Frugal Farmer, how are you, Wakey?
I don't frugal, I don't wake you. Come on, man.
So, yeah, so we have sort of seen parts of Yorkshire that have been flooded. So, sort of Johnny messaged me and he says, look, high winds, flooding, etc. It says, why don't you leave it? So sort of we're going to see what it's like on Thursday and then go up then. So don't stop Johnny Five from working on his building. No, he's got his roof on. His roof's on. The roof's on, the felt's on, but he did a live stream earlier on and he said it was leaking a little bit, but I think it will hangover or something like that. Oh, Wakey says he's got a couple of trees down half mile up the road. So yeah, I mean, there has been several incidents. I mean, I did read sort of, because I get these news notifications and whatever. There has been a man killed when a tree fell on his car. So, this is sort of why they're sort of saying to people, don't go out unless absolutely necessary. you know, so same as we've said, we didn't want to risk it because you don't know where's flooded or where's not flooded. If, you know, there has been sort of, it did say on the news, in some areas, gusts of about 100 mile an hour. So we didn't want to risk it. And Johnny said, you know, don't risk it. He says, stay put. So we says, you know, it did say on the weather that we were in for this sort of weather for a couple of days. So we says, well, we'll leave it until Thursday. Wakey says, wind tore some of the lead flashing out above my kitchen window. I had to break out the pots and pans and get mopping. Oh dear.
Oh dear. Not good.
But some as I say, this, you know, I saw I've got a friend that lives in Nottingham. She posted a picture on Instagram and they've got snow. And then I had, like, from my notifications, it says in like Derbyshire, they've had about 2 inches in an hour. So
all we get is rain and wind.
Yeah. So I mean, if it's sort of that close, Nottingham's like half an hour away. So if it's sort of that close, are we going to get it overnight? I don't know. Same as I say. But Chris's exact words were, well, everybody seems to be getting snow except for us. And last time we actually did have some snow, it was like just about a dusting. And by lunchtime, it had gone. So, you know, I'm going to say we've had that snow shovel. We've been here nearly 4 years, and I don't think, have you ever used it?
Once.
I'm going to say we've got a snow shovel. Yet you dare bet that if we hadn't got a snow shovel, it'd be up to the door frame. It's sod's law, isn't it, really? You know, you ain't got one and you need one. And then because we've got one, we haven't needed it. But yeah. Yeah, I would say it's sort of only just been well, basically, the lady next door is a pensioner. So Chris says, I tell you what, he says, I'll go out, I'll clear like footpath in front of our house. He says, but I'll also do next doors because, you know, obviously she's an elderly lady. So he did his good deed for the day. He cleared ours and he cleared the ladies next door. Plus, she's got like steps down from her house. So he basically did the steps and made a path right up to her front door, more or less. So, yeah, but that were, God, I can't remember.
A year ago now.
Yeah, I'm going to say it was not long after we'd moved in. You know, and since then, we've just seen like what I call a dusting. You know what I mean? And we've had it in the morning, and by lunchtime, it's been gone. So I'm just checking to see if I've. Yeah, I have. So I couldn't remember whether I'd drunk the coffee or not.
Well, is that a hint?
No, I was just saying I couldn't remember if I'd drunk it or not. So, because I'm a bugger, I start doing things, I forget I've got a coffee, and then it goes cold. Well, you see, same as I say, same as Chris says, it was about 3 years ago. We hadn't lived here long, and same as Chris says, you know, if it's a way of getting to know your neighbours, if you know what I mean. And she works, well, she is a pensioner, and same as he says, you know, while I'm doing ours, I may as well do hers. We're only being next door, so you know, that's basically what he did. He while he was clearing ours, and because obviously I'm not very good on my pins, so that's one of the reasons why he did ours. But so yeah, I am Dad. How are you?
Dogstrap.
Oh, right.
What's up?
He says not just in our street, went all over the estate. Oh, Chris, I'll say Chris, you know, they do ours and next doors, and that's about it. So, has anybody else? Has anybody else had any snow yet? I've got a friend that from Nottingham. They've had snow. We've had notifications like coming through that Derbyshire's had snow, but we haven't had any yet. Just the very high winds and the rain. So, but this this is a good one. Before Callum went to bed last night, I mean, everybody, we'd had thunder, we'd had lightning. It were really gusty, and it were absolutely piddling it down with rain. So, so Callum turned around and he says, "Does that mean I ain't got to go to college tomorrow?" Didn't he?
With the radio, no college, close it down.
Yeah, and Chris says, yeah, he says, Callum, he says, it's not like school. They don't close it down at drop of a hat. It says, more or less, you've got the least excuse not to go in because you live right on doorstep. You know, it says college, like, come rain or shine, the college will still be open. So, oh, Wakey said he had, oh, it's coming closer, baby.
What?
Wakey said we had a light covering for about 5 minutes, then it rained.
Ooh.
So it could be on its way. But, you know, I mean, this is sort of all the remnants of this this storm from America. So, you know, in a sense, Chris has sort of opened its nose because he wants to go out and do the photography bit, you know, obviously to capture the snow and whatever. But, you know, to me, it can stay where it is for all I'm bothered. Because I, you know, I'm not all that bothered about it snowing. So, oh, pardon me.
I've got a cat rolling on all me.
It's all right. I'm just looking at notifications. It says the roof blew off my house during Storm Ciara. Storm Ciara blew the roof off a house in the valleys, causing, I think that's in Wales though. I've just had a notification come through, and it says the roof blew off my house during Storm Ciara, but that's in Wales.
The stupid mate.
So, so yeah, that's just, you know, that's just in Wales. So, you know, oh, I've got itchy nose. Storm moving east to push the virus back to China. Ciara. Ciara. I don't know how you pronounce it.
That sounds better, Storm Ciara.
But yeah, I mean, same as I say, you see, we've sort of been keeping everything crossed because we ain't got no trees in our garden.
Big enough front door.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, the lady next door, the pensioner that I'm talking about, she had two, and one was like a big pine tree, and she had that cut down when we had our back garden done. But she's also got another big one, and Chris says, well, he says, if that comes down, we've shot it. He says, because like branches is like virtually touching our bedroom window. So yeah, so if that weren't as sturdy, or if the rain gets really bad and that comes down, we've shot it. So, and it's sort of mine and Chris's bedroom as well. So if that comes through window, you know, we not stand a cat in hell's chance if that comes through window, because it is a massive, massive tree. I have going to take the chainsaw to it when the weather gets better, turn it into a bird table. But yeah, some as I say, the other neighbours, they got tons in their back garden, and last summer they had some guys come out and they cut every single one down. But in all honesty, it were a bit of an eyesore, weren't it? And I don't know whether they'd had complaints or what happened, but we saw somebody, well, we saw somebody on backs looking over at fence, and we thought it were a bit iffy. But the next morning, these guys came and we heard chainsaws going and everything, and they cut like every single one of the trees down. So Amjad's got work experience again on Wednesday.
Ooh.
Do you break up? See, Callum don't go on a Friday, and they've got a week off after. Well, he's only got to go until Thursday, and then he's got like a week off. So I don't know whether you're same or not, Amjad. Have you got the week? Well, next week off. But yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, Callum does as well. Oh, 4 full-size elms. And they had to be cut down because of Dutch elms disease. Same as I say, I don't know the reasoning behind, you know, neighbours' other side. Basically, they had them, every single one cut down. I don't know whether, some as I say, I don't know. We've never found out why exactly they did it, whether they had complaints or what. I don't know. But you see, the elderly lady that lives this side only had the one took down. Well, same as we've said, you know, in retrospect, she could have done with them both taking down, really, because oh dear. We see, I think that's one of the reasons why Callum's looking forward to it, because he does have to be up pretty early, you know what I mean, to go to college. But you know, it means Chris gets to have a lie in as well. So but yeah, to stop the roots from damaging the services. But you see, same as I say, the one that she's got left is actually bigger than the one that she had chopped down, but they were like 2 different trees. The one that she had chopped down were more like a pine tree, and it were like during summer. But anyway, Chris would have to go out nearly every other day to sweep these like pine needles up, and he says, well, we ain't doing bad. Say we haven't even got a tree in our garden, and you're having to go out every other day to sweep them up. So same as I say, that's the one that she had cut down, but in my estimation, she could have been, you know, with other one having sawn down as well, because it's a massive tree. Same as Chris says, it almost touches our bedroom window. Hiya, Ian. How are you?
I don't matter the shed.
Well, you see, at least you have 50 extra minutes in than Callum, because he gets up at 7 every morning, if you know what I mean. Should have chucked them back over the fence. Well, you see, she's a lovely old lady and she'd do anything for you. So, you know, we don't want to fall out, if you get what I'm saying. Oh, man in bed at this time. So yeah, so it's sort of, in that respect, it's a little bit of give and take, if you know what I mean. You know, she's a pensioner, you know, it's not her fault. But she did have it cut down eventually. But from my point of view, I think she ought to have had the bigger one chopped down, because that's more of a nuisance than the pine tree was. So, but well, you never know. Same as I say, she might decide to have this one cut down. I don't know, or just trimmed down, even if it's just like having branches trimmed down. You know what I mean? So yeah. I saw you on Aisy's panel last night, Ian. It went on for some while, because I think we were still up about 12:30 and it was still going then. So he says, in maths at college today, we spoke about pancakes. We made the teacher hungry, her tummy rumbled. Oh dear. But yeah, I mean, Callum gets up at 7 every morning, and Chris gets up with him, because you can't rely on Callum. Yeah, he's 17, but he's one of these that messes about until he leaves everything till last minute. So, but I made some. He says, I don't remember pancakes being part of maths. I made some chocolate cupcakes, but I put chocolate drops in the cake mix, and I also decorated them with chocolate buttercream. And I've got they're called chocolate beans, but they're like miniature Smarties, really. So I decorated them with that. I mean, if you're part of the group, you'll have seen them, because I posted them in the group, posted them in the baking group. Yeah. So and it were basically, the minute him through the door, and he hadn't even got his coat off, and he'd left front door open, he saw the cupcakes, and he goes, "Oh, can I have one?" And Chris says, "Well, get in through the front door first and take your coat off." And he hadn't even took his coat off, and he'd left front door wide open. He was that excited about seeing these cupcakes, and he wanted one. So, hi, Kate, how are you?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, I did post the recipe in the baking group that I've got. It is a Mary Berry recipe, but it don't tell you to put chocolate drops in them, but I did anyway. Oh dear. He says he broke his favourite pint pot yesterday.
Uh-oh.
So, but yeah, so it's a Mary Berry recipe, but the only thing I did different was I'd got some like milk chocolate drops, and I put it into obviously the cake thing. Hey, we've got Johnny 5.
Your father's love.
I'm going to say Ian was in. I don't know whether he's still in or not, Johnny.
Who's that? Oh, Ian.
Ian Matthews.
Yeah. Mr. Matthews.
So yeah. So I just adapted it, and I got some chocolate drops, so I just added it to, cake mixture. Looks like I'm going to have to buy something. Oh, is that where you got it from? So he says it looks like I'm going to have to buy something from Sports Direct again.
Uh-oh.
You're welcome, Johnny. Same as I was saying to Chris. I says, I've only ever been on your panel once. You've been on mine several times, and I just repay it favour, really. So, oh, only £1 with the order. Well, you see, this is the thing. The place where the college ordered Callum's like chef stuff. Hey, snobby scrap picker, how are you? The place where Callum gets his like chef stuff is, where is it? Rotherham.
Yeah.
It's only in Rotherham. So I said I was looking on it today because he's lost like a cloth that you get stuff out of oven with. He's lost his tea towel. He's lost one of his skull caps, and they only gave him one pair of trousers. So I went on the website today and I've ordered him another pair of trousers, 2 tea towels, another skull cap, and 2 of these like cloths. So, you know, same as I said to Chris, I says, I haven't actually paid and ordered them yet. Because I says to Chris, I says, nah, do you think it's worth going over there? Would we get, you know, would we be able to walk in and say, well, look, my son's in catering college, blah, blah, blah. We need some things. Or do you think it'll just be easier to order them and pay a little bit of postage? So, I'm just laughing at what Chris put. Outdoors. I'm surprised you come. He says I decided to roof the whole thing properly. Well, in a way, it is done properly. It just needs tidying up, if you know what I mean. Plus, he's cut a wall down as well to make it look like a bit bigger. Hi, Vanessa Kitty, how are you?
Hello, Vanessa.
So, you know, I mean, we saw. I didn't order it because I says to Chris, I says, nah, is it gonna be more economical to go over there and get them, or is it going to be more economical from to deliver? So, okie dokie then. Amjad's going. See you Wednesday, Amjad. Oh. Vanessa says, doing good. We got my brother's truck's right-hand door to open. We ratcheted out the bent fender. Oh. So, some as I say, we're sort of in that sort of dilemma at the, Johnny's, it's like a shed, but it's got like several things to it, and it's took like a wall out today to make it a little bit bigger. They do liver, they do chicken as well. But yeah, I mean, it's same as I say. He lost his tea towel. He lost his oven cloth. He lost one of his skull caps. So it only got one pair of trousers. Oh, pardon me. So it means like he don't need his cookery things tomorrow because they do like English and maths and whatever tomorrow. So he don't need it for tomorrow, but he has it every other day other than Tuesday. He has to wear it. So when he comes home from college, I have to wash it, dry it, ready for it next day. So I says, if we order another pair of trousers, they'll not be such a, you know, we'll not be sort of waiting for him to come in, chuck them in washer, get them in tumble dryer to be ready for it next day. You know what I mean? It gives us a little bit of leeway. Plus, he's lost this oven cloth thing. It's like when he's taking stuff out. Eh?
Two of them.
No, he only had one of them.
I thought he had two.
It were the
Two
tea towels that he's lost both of his tea towels. So that's one of the things that knocks me about Callum, is always losing stuff. Now, when he's making things, he takes containers, because if you don't have a container, they charge him £1 for either a foil dish or whatever it is he's making. So we started giving him a container to bring his stuff home in. Now, I took one in on Thursday, and you know, I took things out of his bag, and I says, well, where's the lid to this container? He says, there weren't one. I says, there were. So he'd lost the lid to his container. So we've now got a container without a lid, as well as losing 2 tea towels and this oven cloth, plus a skull cap. So you know, but same as I said to Chris, I think, you see, his top's the only thing that's got his name on it. So, like tea towels and cloths and everything, if somebody picks it up and puts it in their bag, nobody's going to be any the wiser. And Callum thinks he's lost it. So, you know, same as I say, I don't necessarily think, or, you know, I don't necessarily know that he's losing them. People might be picking them up thinking that they're theirs, but they're not the Callum's, if you know what I mean. So, you know, same as I said to Chris, says we're going to have to start putting his name on everything. That way, you know, in a permanent marker. That way people aren't going to get mixed up, and they're going to know it's Callum's because it's got his name on it. I mean, I know it sounds a bit daft, but we can't afford to keep replacing things. And he needs these things for his course at college. Oh. Better sage than sorry.
Oh, bloody power.
I'm gonna
say. I've already corrected it once.
But you see, Johnny has got it's got like some things on wall, you know, like for nuts and bolts and screws and things like that. He's got them mounted on wall. So yeah, same as we've said, you know, once we replace these things that are missing, everything's going to have his name on it in permanent marker. It might seem a bit, what I call infantile, but if somebody picks a cloth up and it's got Callum's name on it, they're going to know, oh, well, if I take this home, my parents are going to know it's not mine. You know what I mean? We put our ID on all clothing in military. It helps with communal washing. You see, this is what you see, the tea towels and the oven cloth and the skull cap haven't got the names in it. So anybody could pick it up and put it in the bag. You know what I mean? But same as I said, Chris needs most. I'm not going to keep forking out to replace things that's gone missing from to go missing again. And have to keep up. We ain't got the money to keep doing it. So I says, I've got a permanent marker. I says, I'm going to write his name on everything, even his tea towels. And then you know, they're going to think twice about picking other people's stuff up. You know what I mean? And not, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, the stealing, but they're probably picking Callum's stuff up, thinking it's theirs, and it's not. So Callum sort of is one of these lads that he not say anything. Hey, Paul, how are you? But yeah, and I says to Chris, I says, I'm not going to pay all this money out to replace the stuff that's gone missing, plus an extra pair of trousers for them to go missing again. So I says, right, when we get these items, I'm going to permanent marker them all. So, you know, it'll deter people from picking Callum's stuff up.
Would be accidentally picking it up, people.
Yeah. Oh, he says he's finally got my headphones working.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, did he actually put them in the port?
Oh dear. Well, this is the thing as well. Chris got up early Saturday morning to go out with Steve Axe, which is one of the Yorkshire Stone Seekers, and they were going to this. I forgot where were it?
Padley Gorge.
Ah, that were it, Padley Gorge. Now, they'd already walked up this massive hill, and then there were a signpost saying it were another 2 miles. And Chris says, I don't know about you. He says, but I'm absolutely cream crackered. So they gave it up as a bad job and went back to car. And they were going to go somewhere else. Steve had lost his mojo a bit, and he says, I tell you what, he says, drop me off back home. He says, you know, he says, I can't be bothered now. So, you know, so Chris sort of went solo. We did get some good pictures and whatever. So, and then he said yesterday morning, he says, I'm glad I went out yesterday morning. He says, because if it had been this morning, you know, I'd have been getting back in bed. Hi, Steve, how are you? So yeah, you know, Steve lost his mojo a little bit, and he says to Chris, he says, you know, it is, oh, just drop me off at home. He says, I can't be bothered now. So Chris dropped him off at home, and Chris went on to somewhere else. So you know, he got some, as I say, he got some good pictures. So and he did the what were it? Stacking. I don't know.
Just photo stacking, basically stacking photos on top of each other to make it one.
Yeah. So right to explain. He says, "Oh, that one is like a photo stacking," and I went, "What? Well, what's that when it's at home?" And he says it's like 3 photos stacked on top of one another, but you blend them all into one in like different intervals. I don't know. I still sort of don't really understand it, but whatever he did, it looked
3
good.
photos merged into one.
Yeah, 3 photos merged into one. So, but he did karate. You have to plug in Mr. P so he can work. But yeah, so he did that. And then we're in discussions yesterday for some new ideas for my baking vlogs. Now, I'm not going to divulge what they are, but it says, trust me, it says, I've been watching YouTube tutorials. I know what I'm doing. This will look good. It's all right. If you're wondering what that is, it's Benny. It's right. I look like I've got shakes, and it's Benny. Benny, stop it. Pixie doing treble exposure. We'll keep an eye out for the court case. So yeah, so it came up with a good idea yesterday afternoon. We sat talking about it, and it's a closely guarded secret. And you just have to wait and see. We don't know. So I'm having to move everything because Benny's right behind me laptop. So if it starts wobbling and whatever, it's Benny, not me. That's it, Benny. Have a good, right, good. No, it says, go on, tell us. No, I can't. Can't tell you. I'd have to shoot you. But it's just sort of, I mean, as everybody knows, Johnny's bought the pasting table for me, and it's just another like effect, let's just say, for the baking vlogs. So he sort of run it past me yesterday afternoon, and I went, oh, that sounds good. And he says, well, I've been watching YouTube like videos. So yeah, it's sort of just another like effect to how can I put it?
No,
to make it interesting, if you know what I mean. And he sort of, same as I say, he run it past me yesterday, and I went, oh, that sounds good. So we've sort of got to, it's sort of just in the planning. Benny, laptop nearly went flying then. He says you'll have to get past Nell first, Pixie. Some as I say, we've got to put the plan into action, but it needs a bit of planning first, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I mean, it sounds simple and all well and good, but it takes quite a bit of planning. Don't worry, I got a Jeanette. So yeah, it's a case of, it's settling down now, Benny. So yeah.
That laptop's hanging up.
Oh, got 3 to repair right now. My mistake, 7.
What? Very difference from 3 to 7.
So what you been doing then? Crashing them, or you know, how come you've got that many to repair? But yeah, it's same as I say. Chris can't really do it with his videos. It needs to be done in my videos, if you know what if you understand what I'm saying. But same as I say, all will become apparent in the next few coming weeks, let's just say. It says, forgot 4 of them need new on and off switches. But you see, Johnny was saying, like on his live stream this afternoon, he found a saw, like a circular saw, I think it were, on side at Rowood. Took it back to workshop. He's got it going, but he's had to bypass safety switches or something. Still got one, but he's had to bypass something or other. If you ain't crashing, you ain't having fun. But yeah, so you know, same as Johnny says, it does me, and it'll save time on when he's sort of doing the shed and whatever. And same as I says, I mean, you can't grumble for nothing. So you know, it's like a win-win situation, isn't it? Really, you know, it's going to save a lot of time. And if they were throwing it out and you can fix it, then you know it's a win-win situation. You've got to go in it first. Well, I have no idea, Johnny, what one of them is. It says it's a sliding chop saw, a big one.
Is that what you're picking up? Is that everything you slide over?
You know what I mean? I have no idea. That makes no sense to me at all. So, oh yeah, Wakey said I had to do that with my chop saw, and Johnny says it is a sliding chop saw, a big one. But it's same as Johnny says. If it were somebody's tools, obviously they have to have them like safety checked, and if the safety cutout switch ain't working, then that's probably why it were doing on side at road in first place.
Either that or it fell off the back of a wagon.
He says it was side at road.
No, that's what I mean. It fell off the back of a wagon. I didn't mean nickname.
Oh, it says
it literally fell off the back of the wagon.
You can cut wide wood with them of several at once. Oh. See, only thing I know is a circular saw, a chainsaw, and a jigsaw. That's about only 3 saws I know. When you start going a bit technical, you've lost me. So, same as I say, they only 3 saws I know. You know, and then when you're talking about chop saw, you know, you've lost me. I'm not a DIYer, as you can tell. Mind you, neither is Chris, if we're being honest.
Everybody knows about my DIY.
I'm just going to go on my phone. And I'll click on the link. Just don't be sounding up now. Right. Just clicking on it now. All right. I think I have seen them.
Let's have a look.
That's what it is.
It's gone. It's gone.
Oh.
Click on it again.
Yeah.
The butchers. Black Friday loads up.
Yeah. Oh. What's that? Why's that come up?
They sent a virus.
Oh. Gonna get Ayla back next week. Yeah, sorry about that. It's Chris's fault. Hey, wait, cat. Chris opened the front door, and Benny obviously were behind my laptop. He's darted off, took the camera with him. He unplugged it, and basically it cut the camera off on StreamYards. So yes, it's all Chris's fault.
My fault. I'll take blame for that one.
Yeah.
Still got link on that, haven't
we? Yeah. So yeah, it was Chris's fault. Same as I say, Benny
I've seen one of them before.
Benny were behind the laptop. Chris opened front door to see if it had been snowing, and of course, it'd gone. So I didn't press anything. It wasn't my fault. It was Chris's fault. So Did you have a good? Did you? Oh no, because it cut off, didn't it? I'm gonna say, did you have a good view at floor? So I do apologise. I'll apologise on Chris's behalf, and I'll apologise on Benny's behalf. Smart cat unplugging and taking the camera with him. What exactly is he going to do with it? Hiya, hippie chick, how are you? So yeah, I do apologise for that. You know, catastrophe struck. Sorry, I just had to say that one. Catastrophe. It's all right, hippie chick. We've just had a moment. The cat was on the table behind my laptop. My husband opened front door, and of course he shot off. He took the camera with him, and everything went black for a few seconds. Buddy likes crab sticks, just letting you know. Yeah, but same as I said, it only a momentarily thing. So, you know, obviously, sometimes these things happen on live streams, you know what I mean? But for some reason, the cat is happy either on my table or behind the laptop. He loves laying near the laptop. I don't know whether it's because it's warm or what it is. It's just got this thing about, you know, got some shocking news. Oh, what's that? Wakey says, stop nicking my line, Pixie. What's that? I am not pregnant. I thought you were being serious then. Well, I've got some news for you. I'm not either. You know, but hey ho. I think I'd be amazed if I did. Wakey says he ain't either. So we can all say that we're not pregnant.
Only me.
Only you?
Yeah.
We ain't,
6 months.
yeah, I'm gonna say we into be raking in millions then if you are.
I've been 6 months pregnant for about 12 months.
So so yeah, I think I'd die of shock if I were. You know.
Well, we've got a ready-made babysitter. He's upstairs.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm past you know, waking up every 4 hours for a feed and nappy changing, and I like them that sort that you can give back. You know what I mean? It says keep taking the tablets, Pixie. Yeah, I like them sort that you can give back now. But I don't want to be a grandma just yet. Stick to changing Chris's nappies. But yeah, I think Callum's a little bit young to be giving me a grandchild at the moment. You know, I says to him many moons ago, I says, look, listen to me. I says, and this is sound advice, Callum. Stay at home as long as you can. Save as much money as you can. You know, and he says, I know, but I want my own place, and I says, look, Callum, I says, it's all right you saying you want your own place, but with your own place, you've got to pay your council tax, you've got to pay your rent, your electric, your gas. you know, if you've got a job like you commute to work, and it's not as plain sailing as what you think it is. I says, if I can give you any advice, Callum, I says, and you know, I says, take it from somebody that knows. I says, stay at home as long as possible. I says, yeah, once you're earning, I says, you're going to be paying board. I says, but you're going to have your washing done for you. I says, you're going to have your meals provided for you. I says, whereas if you get your own place, you know, I says, you've got to do all that for yourself. There's no coming back home every 5 minutes saying, Mum, can you wash me this? Or Mum, can you wash me that? I says, that's what's called independence, Callum. You do everything for yourself. But yeah, you know, I mean, we've only got him at home, so it's not like we've got an house full of rent and anything. And same as I said, get some money behind you, Callum. You know, I says, get your college and everything out of way. You know, sound advice, you know what I mean? While you living at home, you get in 3 meals. Well, when I say 3 meals a day, they don't. He actually has some at college, but you know what I mean? He's getting fed, he's getting his washing done, he's got no electric or anything to pay, no gas to pay, just pay us when you're earning. So, you know, a set amount each week for your board. So, you know, I says, and it'll enable you to save money for when you do decide to leave home and, you know, live independently. So, you know, as anybody else got any advice? Hiya, Scott, how are you? You know, has anybody else got any advice other than what I've just said? Do you know what I mean? What advice did you give to your kids? You know, same as I say, he's only 17. He'll be 18 in November. but you see, you can see where I'm coming from, Wakey. Same as I says, he's only 17. He's not 18 till December. Yeah, he gets like this government trust fund when he's 18, but he's talking about buying a car out of that. The same as I says, if you're going to be a chef, you can't always guarantee that you're going to get a job in the local vicinity. You might have to travel a bit further afield, so you're going to need a car. And same as I says to him, you know, get working, get a bit of money behind you. I says, and you know, no, it is. Chris's dad has said that he'll pay for driving lessons for him, but he wants him to pass his theory test first. So he says bye, and the answer is no to everything. I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue, Wakey. You see, I don't drive. There's only Chris out at family drives.
I bet they're fetching about 30 odd quid.
So yeah, but I mean, like nowadays, there's like you have to take your theory test before you actually take your driving lesson. Scott says, only advice I can give someone at that age is to keep it in your pants. We see, this is what I was just saying, Scott. I says, he's only 17, he's not 18 till November, and I don't want him becoming a dad just yet. So basically, I've given the same advice. You know, but he's sort of is of the assumption that you know, he wants his own place and all this, that, and other. And same as I said, you know, you've got your rent, you've got your electric, your gas, and you know, several other household bills. When you're working and there's only you, you've got to pay everything. That wage don't go very far. Plus, he's got his food and everything to buy.
Yeah, but we're not talking 1920s now.
So, you know, same as we've said, stay at home as long as possible, get some money behind you, and when you do decide to move out and get your own place, at least you've got to be in a more stable financial situation than you are now, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so you know, it's from my perspective, it's sound advice. You know, there's a saying, you know, don't run before you can walk. You know, and my mum always used to say that to me. You know, don't run before you can walk. It's all right, you know, saying I want this and I want that and I want independence, but unless he's got the financial stability, it's no good. And then sort of 4 or 5 months down the line saying, well, mum and dad, can I come back home after I've paid my rent and after I've paid my electric and my gas and my food and everything? It's not leaving me with anything. Yeah, don't pull the cart before the horse. But yeah, you know what I mean? I'd like to think that he gets himself financially stable before he takes that leap and goes it alone. You know, same as I say, he's only 18. So he's got a fair few years yet before he even finishes college. So until he's finished college, he'll not be getting a job till then. So, you know, we're talking about, you know, a few years yet, but he's been talking. Hey, we've got Simon.
There it is.
You see, before he enrolled to go to college, there was a scheme, and it's called an apprenticeship. And obviously, anybody that knows what an apprenticeship is, it means you're learning on the job and actually getting paid for it. Now, at the time, he was saying, oh no, I want to go to college, I want to go to college. But I think he regrets making that decision now, and he's changed his mind, and he's been looking into places around this area that actually do apprenticeships, excuse me, in the catering trade. But you see, like, Callum only started college last September. Now, he didn't want to go to sixth form college, which we have here in the UK. There was a choice between either an apprenticeship or going to college. So he says, oh, I want to go to college, I want to get a qualification. But I don't think he understood the concept that, one, an apprenticeship is you're learning while you're on the job and you're actually getting paid for it. So now he's changed his mind about that, and he's, you know, wanting to look into that further now. Yeah, he's already done like 6 months at college, and it's probably mean him starting from scratch again.
Naughty boy.
Naughty. So yeah, so it's sort of changed his mind now, and he's thinking more on the lines of an apprenticeship now. Oh, we got away with it, he says.
Oh, we got away with it.
I'm going to say, how did you get away with that if you're doing 118 miles in a 60 hour?
Double over the speed limit.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. So yeah, you know, it's a case of waiting and seeing, and just put it down here and I'll plug it in a bit. So must be a big smile you have. or that silver tongue. Oh dear. But yeah, it's a case of same as I said to Callum. It's you do what's right for you. He says, I pointed out the cop car had a headlight out. Car wasn't fit to be on the road.
Good evening.
But yeah, some as I say, you know, as kids don't always, how can I put it? I'm going to say don't always take the right path in life. Callum's never been in trouble, blah, 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 but...
I'm a good one, I'm teacher's pet.
Yeah, I think he's regretting making the decision to go to college now over the apprenticeship thing. So, but, you know, lesson learned, you learn from your mistakes. It's a case of, I think, I mean, in my honest opinion, but this is only my opinion, he'll learn a lot more learning on the job than he ever will at college, if you know what I mean. It's all well and good, yeah. I mean, the chefs at college are qualified and everything, but it's not like you're learning in a working environment. You know what I mean? It's a case of, you know, you're going to learn more if you're learning on the job. So, but it's something that you're looking into, isn't it?
Yeah, but we can't find the
yeah, that literature.
leaflet.
Yeah. Well, we'll go online. We'll go online. So yeah, it's a case of.
We might have chucked it away.
We'll find it. Don't worry. Amjad says he don't get up till is it 10 to 8 to go to college, and I went, well, Callum gets up at 7 every morning. Yeah, well, this is it. This is what I'm saying, Scott. You know, he thought he were making the right decision by going to college. He's doing catering and hospitality, but he got the opportunity at the time to apply for an apprentice. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not always guaranteed of getting an apprenticeship, but the two options open to him was an apprenticeship or going to college. Now, same as we said, we don't, you know, we didn't want to influence him in any way, shape or form. That was his decision to make. You know what I mean? So he made the decision to go to college. But now he's changing his mind a little bit and wanting to sort of look into the apprenticeship side of it.
Or do something else.
It says, Simon says apprenticeships get snapped up round here. Well, you see this leaflet that Callum's talking about. As you know, we live close to Sheffield city centre, which in itself has got a lot of hotels. and a lot of the apprenticeships was at hotels. So same as we've said, if you know, he's going to stay where he is for the time being, but he's also going to look into the option of seeing if he can find an apprenticeship. But you see, our system is a little bit different to yours, Scott. That's why they do these what we call apprenticeships. Everything he does while being in the work. Hey, Steve. Everything he does while being in the work environment on this apprenticeship goes towards actually a qualification. So if he shows his determination for work, it shows like he's punctual, he's cordial, he's respectful, that basically all adds to him getting like recommended for another job. Let's say there's a position that opens up a bit higher up, like a commis chef or, you know, whatever they are. You know, they can recommend Callum for the job because he's shown, you know, his willingness to work, his punctuality, his manners, his trustworthiness. You know, it all adds up to them putting his name forward for that position. So yeah, you know, it's something that he's wanting to explore. No snow yet, so no need. Well, you'll be doing naked snow angels. I'll definitely not be.
Let Callum go first.
It's either I'll put it somewhere on the table,
Yeah,
and it's falling off,
yeah, probably.
or
That leaflet about apprenticeships, we'll find it, Callum. Don't worry about it.
no one.
I don't think Callum will be doing it. He'll end up with pneumonia. He's already up to neck in a cold still.
Still got a black nose.
Yeah. See you morning.
See you in the morning.
So yeah, that is something that is seriously considering.
Where's he?
You see what Simon's put? Oh dear. That's if we get any snow.
I think there was some snow in.
Well, they've had snow in Nottingham and they've had snow in Derbyshire. And Wakey says they've had a dusting, but it rained and it washed it away. So, you know, we'll probably get up in the morning and it'll be about 2 foot in snow.
I can't get to college.
Walk?
Yeah, but what if college will be short?
Back then.
It's a stay away from wormholes.
I'll do it top.
Yeah, I think Ivor next door might have something to say about it.
You might jump on best. Avoid Yellowstone. It adds flavour.
Yeah, and this is what you see, same as I've said, Scott. I don't want to sort of influence any decisions that, you know, me and Chris don't want to influence any decision that Callum makes. He's got to make that decision for himself, and obviously he made the decision to go to college, but I think he's regretting it now and wished he'd have gone for the apprenticeship. But
I think you can still.
Hey, we've got Crimson.
Is it you got to do the apprenticeship, or you got to quit college, or can you do both?
Well, how can you do apprenticeship and work full time if you go into college as well?
Weekends?
No, you can't. It's like a full time job because you're getting paid for it.
Can't do both, mate.
So yeah, it's same as I say, it's something worth, you know, in pondering about and us looking into, you know, as regards yellow snow is bad enough, brown chunky snow is a bit worse. But I mean, it did say on my weather forecast app thing that I've got on my phone, snow and ice. So it's coming, but when is a different, you know, is a different matter. I don't exactly know, you know, it just said partly cloudy with a chance of ice and snow. So yellow snow isn't that slush puppy. Ew. But yeah, I mean I haven't been out since last time I went to doctors and I got shingles, so it's very rarely I go out anyway. But I definitely. Hiya, Brenda. How are you?
Yeah, brother.
We have both snow and ice. Oh dear. Simon says, "Then make sure you brush your teeth afterwards, Crims." But yeah, I mean, I was just saying, Brenda, that the weather forecast says, you know, there's a strong chance of us getting snow and ice. So, yeah, I'm not too bad. We've just been talking about Callum and him going to college and, you know, him wanting now to swap and go into an apprenticeship and whatever. So, but it's a case of, you know, there's only him can make that decision. And, you know, we made a decision to go to college. And now I think he's regretting that decision and wished he'd have gone for the apprenticeship. But, you know, you live and learn, you know, is what I, you know. So it's a case of, you know, it's what best suits him, you know. We have loads of wind here. I think it must be something I've ate. Well, you see, some as I say, it were blowing a gale here last night, and we were supposed to be going to Johnny's, up to Johnny's today. Yeah, it's not all that far away, but what with the strong winds and the rain and everything, it says, you know, just make sure you stay safe and you know, we can always leave it for another day. So, but yeah, sometimes it's good to do a bit of college first, then get a feel for the subject. I mean, he enjoys it. He enjoys the cooking part. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, I think he's come to the conclusion that if he does an apprenticeship, it's going to be in the work environment and he's more likely to learn more if he's actually in a working environment. You know, and I think that's the sort of conclusion he's come to. It's all well and good going to college, but it's not giving you, it's like he's wanted a part-time job for ages now. But every time he fills an application in, they want to know what experience he's had. You know, you know, and he's had to put, I've got no experience because I'm at college. So
saying it wrong there is that experience, you know, albeit work experience.
Yeah, I mean, the only experience he's had is work experience, but that were only for like a week.
It's still experience. I think positively.
So, you know, but you see, I think Callum's a bit disappointed because a lot of their emphasis is on maths and English. Now, yeah, you know, don't shoot me down. I know if you're sort of wanting to get on in a few years' time and go into management and everything, you need that skill of maths and English. but I think he's wanting to be more hands-on, if you understand what I'm saying. I think he's wanting to be more hands-on than just, how can I put it, sitting at a desk.
Get stuck in other words.
Yeah. You know, he's wanting the hands-on experience, because that's what you know, that's what he wants. He wants to be doing and not just sitting at a desk. So yeah, you know, I think that's sort of his motivation behind it. I think he's wanting, let's just say he's wanted to get stuck in, and he's wanting to, you know, and same as I says sort of, don't be disappointed, Callum, because at the end of the day, everybody has to start somewhere. You know, it's like everything else. You start at bottom rung at ladder. Hiya, Carla, how are you? You know, so yeah, you know, it's some as I say, we're not influencing his decision whatsoever. He's got to make that decision for himself. You know, it's a case of, you know, you make that decision for yourself. If you're not happy at college, then look into an apprenticeship by all means. You know, you do whatever suits you. So that's the story so far. So a level 1 cert will make it easier to get an apprenticeship. We see, this is what I'm saying. I says to Callum, I says, because you see, obviously they like have a lot of holidays, what schools have. So if he can last it out till about July, he can officially say he's done a year at college. So he's done the level 1, he's done the first year already at college. So yeah, you know, it's you know, and we've sort of said to him, you've got to think on it this way, Callum. If you were to leave now, the last however many months, it's more or less gone down training. You've got to start from scratch again. If you hang on till, like, let's say till July, at least you can say you've given it a good crack at whip and you've been at college for a year. It's not for you. You've changed your mind. You want to do an apprenticeship. And then it can go on to this apprenticeship and say, well, look, I've done a year at college. I thought I was making the right decision in the first place by going to college, but now, you know, blah, 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 I've decided to do an apprenticeship. And I've had that 1 year's experience at college. So, you know, it's not all wasted, if you get me meaning. So, you know, it's, but you see, the problem with Callum is he's not very assertive, let's just say. He's not very assertive. If somebody said to him, oh, Callum, you know, you're this, that, and other, it's sort of tack it on chin. And we keep saying to him, you've got to stand up for yourself. You've got to put your point forward. You know what I mean? What I'll tell you why I'm saying this is because the chef that does his college course, oh, excuse me, Callum was talking to the chef, and he was saying, I might do another course next year. I might do something else, blah, blah, blah. And the chef turned around to him and said, oh, I think you're making the right decision, Callum, because you don't remember things. And I was livid, And I says to him, I says, well, don't you realise that part of your disability is that you have to have things explained to you, and you don't always hold that information straight away. You know, you have to have it explained to you. And I says, it's not the right attitude for, let's say, a teacher to have, that's supposed to be encouraging a student. You know what I mean? And I says to Chris, I says, just because it's not a physical disability, he's not seeing the bigger picture. You know what I mean? The tutor or chef or whatever you want to call him isn't seeing the bigger picture. He's not taking into account that I keep saying Chris, that Callum has learning difficulties. You know, he's not like all the other students, but he's trying to better himself by getting a trade behind him. And he's more or less penalising Callum for that learning difficulty, so to speak. He does have learning support. We've actually got a meeting at the college on, is it 26th of February?
26.
Yeah. We have actually got a meeting. It's what they call SENCO, which is Special Educational Needs Coordinator. So it's basically me and Chris go, Callum's there, this SENCO officer from the college, somebody from Sheffield City Council, and it's basically, we discuss the best way forward, what Callum's needs are, what targets he needs to aim for, blah, blah, blah. So I said to Chris, I says, we're going to have to mention that his tutor / chef or whatever has got no empathy for Callum. You know, the same as I says, you can see it from both sides of the coin, right? He's got, let's say, a class of, I don't know, about 20. I don't know the proper, you know, the proper numbers, but let's say, for instance, he's got a class of 20. Now, he's expecting all of that class to be at the same level. You know what I mean? But the college and everybody knew about this previous to him signing up to go to college. So it seems like the college are empathetic towards it, but not the chef / tutor or whatever you call it. So I says to Chris, I says, when we go in college on the 26th, I says, we're going to have to say, well, look, tutor / chef or whatever you want to call him isn't very empathetic to Callum's needs. And a good teacher or a good tutor should be empathetic to every student's needs, whether they're able-bodied, whether they're disabled, or they've got learning difficulties. And this is, you know, this is what I'm trying to say is, to this tutor / chef, everything's black and white. There's sort of no medium, or there's no in between. And he's, in no uncertain terms, he's discouraging Callum from proceeding with that college, catering and hospitality. He's like actively discouraging him, you know, from carrying on with it. And I says to Callum, I says, that's the last thing. And I have spoke to somebody about it, because we have a lady come out from it's It's run by Sheffield City Council and it's called MAST, and it's multi-agency support team. And she's been out a couple of times now, and I've told her, and she says she wants to be at this meeting. So, and I exactly told her what the chef had said. Callum told her what the chef had said, and she says, Callum, she says, that chef or your tutor or whatever should be encouraging you, not dismissing you. Well, that's it. But I says, you know, I says to Callum, I says, it should be encouraging you, not dismissing you, or, you know. Yeah, I totally agree with what Chris has just said. If he gets the help he needs, he might enjoy it a bit more. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's not enjoying it as much. Because a lot of the time, he gets dismissed a lot. You know what I mean? Unless he unless he understands somebody with learning difficulties, then he can't empathise with them. You know what I mean? You know, and obviously he wants everything to be all cut and dried. You know, he might have been put in a totally wrong group. He might be the only one in his class with learning difficulties. Hence the reason why he gets dismissed so much by the tutor / chef. You know what I mean? And same as Chris says, if he gets the help he needs, I think he'll thrive a lot better. I definitely think he'll thrive a lot better if he gets the help he needs. And when we go to this meeting, we're going to make sure he does. You see, when he initially had like a statement of special needs, I mean, they're not called a statement of special needs now. Young persons, somewhat or other, I forgot what it is. Young persons, somewhat independent, I forget what it's called now, but it's not called a statement anymore. Callum's had a statement from the moment he started school. In fact, he had the statement while he was in nursery. So he's had that statement all his life. And we've always pushed for him to get the help that he needs. You know what I mean? We've always pushed for him to get the help that he needs. And college is no different. You know, at the end of the day, you want your kids to succeed. And the path that he's taken is catering and hospitality. And why shouldn't he? He's got as much right as the next person or the next student or whatever to be able to do what he wants. Yeah, we see. I mean, I haven't met this tutor or this chef or whatever, but already I don't like him because he's got no empathy for Callum. Callum tries his hardest. He can cook. And he loves cooking. But if he's getting discouraged by the one person that's there to learn him, what chance has he got to succeed? Oh, I've got an itchy nose and it's driving me nuts. But yeah, you know, if that tutor / chef or whatever he is isn't encouraging Callum, what chance has he got of succeeding if he's dismissing Callum all the time? You know what I mean? And it takes somebody like Simon that are willing to go above and beyond to help a student. That's sort of thing that, you know, they could do it down there. I mean, he loves the college. It's just, I think it's just the chef / tutor or whatever he is, being dismissive of him. You know what I mean? Uh,
Thought I'd just slip that one in.
oh dear. Yeah. But yeah. Say it's same as I say. From our perspective, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me, to us, Callum's normal. Now, we know he isn't, but to us, he's normal. And it's like, what did I say yesterday? And it's like, I said something, and he says, what does that mean? And I sort of went into depth and I explained to him what it meant. He went, oh, right, I get you now. You see, this is what I'm saying. I've got to blow my nose. It's doing me nothing. If sorry about that. It was driving me nuts. Still itching now. But yeah, you know, and that's the sort of person Callum is. If he don't know the meaning of a word, he asks you. And so long as you explain to him, you know, sort of in depth or an alternative explanation for it, it's fine. You know what I mean? It just needs that bit of extra explanation, if you know what I mean. Don't blow too hard. But yeah, I mean, have you ever had one of them times where your nose is really itching and it gets right on your wires? But yeah, you know, it's very frustrating. You only want the best for your child, and when they're being dismissed in such a way that, you know, oh, you've got learning difficulties, I can't be doing, you know, explaining this, that, and other. I've got 20 other kids, you know, to deal with. You know what I mean? He must be aware that Callum does have difficulties. It's just the fact that he's not very empathetic towards it. The same as I said to Chris, I wonder if the reason why is dismissing Callum and saying, oh, well, yeah, I think you ought to do a different course next year. He don't want to be dealing with him. You know what I mean? It sounds, yeah, I understand, you know, he's got other kids to teach, but he should know, one, that Callum has learning difficulties, and two, he's got to have that, if he's in that position at the college, then he's got to have empathy towards somebody that's got learning difficulties. So, well, at least, Simon, if you do, you know, you've got 2 avid viewers there. So, I know Chris will be there with bells on if you do. You know what I mean? If you know, if you've been in a teaching position, then why not put it to good use and learn the tricks of your trade? I mean, same as yeah, exactly. If they explain to him exactly why in the simplest way. Yeah. I know. I'm sweating. He says you can title it, if Wake can do it, anyone can. But same as Chris says.
Just don't go 160 miles an hour.
Same as Chris says, he's got into photography in a big way. And same as he says on like most of his videos, I'm not an expert by no means. And I've got such a lot more to learn.
Oh, you're not kidding.
You know what I mean?
Where's an on button?
I mean, it's like let's say, for instance, like when I did the bacon collabs last week, I says to him, after I've made them and I presented them like on a plate or something, just do me a photograph or something. So, you know, so I can create a thumbnail. And is there like this, like blooming David Bailey? And I went, I only want a picture so I can create a thumbnail, not, not win a photography competition. I only want a simple picture so I can put it as a thumbnail. So you can send it to me and I can create a thumbnail with it. But yeah, I says I'm sort of, because I sit in a chair and I'm sat there with my arms folded and I'm sort of looking into air, and I says, anybody think you were David Bailey? I says, it's only, only taking a picture or a cake so I can use it as a thumbnail. You know what I mean? Took me 8 minutes to get to Meadowhall. It's all right, he's out with camera outside. Talking of which.
Trying to take a picture of all fairly visual.
Oh dear, but yeah.
55mm lens, okay, bloody long,
But yeah,
wide enough.
I were having a right laugh, about it.
What?
When you were in there taking pictures of them things, what I did in that collab last week, and I said, I only want a couple of pictures for my thumbnails.
Well, you got to make them look good, haven't you?
Hey, God, I was in. And does anybody think you were David Bailey? And they were like this, and
Hey,
this.
You can bake your cakes and I can sell pictures of them.
So yeah, but yeah. So about half an hour later, we eventually got 2 pictures. But yeah, but same as he says, if I'm to take photography serious, I've got to be serious about the pictures I take.
Not just like there's a picture of your cake and you see about three pictures of a cake in one frame.
I mean, it were like the cakes that I made this afternoon. I said to him, let's take a couple of pictures for me. I says, and I'll post it in my group. About half an hour later, I says, do me a couple of pictures. I says, I'll put one in my community YouTube group. I says, and I'll put one in the baking and recipes group. So it was Jean Strimpton.
He says, yeah, mate, you're not had money.
He said, it was Jean Strimpton, by the way. Wakey. He says, has he got Jean Strimpton in the garden? I have no idea. That's why I'm asking. But yeah. So anyway, it goes in. I'd already put them on like the cake turntable. Chris says, set them up on your cake turn. It makes it look a lot more professional. So I did that. I put them all on my cake turntable. So he comes in and he took about a dozen. Some of them were too dark. Some of them, and I went, that one will do, Oh, David Bailey squeeze. You learn something new every day.
There you go. Heard of David Bailey.
I'm going to say we've heard of David Bailey. But anyway, same as I say, is, same as he says, it's not as simple as just pointing your camera and taking a picture. It's got to be right. It's got because see, the only problem we have is if it's dark when he takes the photographs, they all come out orange because we've got a fluorescent lighting kitchen. Oh, she was Twiggy before Twiggy was Twiggy. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, worth the money. You was doing the teaching either when I was teaching photography. Oh, cool. Okie dokie.
Well, anyway, same as I say, is serious about the photography part of it. And you know, it's where you going now?
I'm getting the manual.
Are you going dogging?
Yeah, I've just texted all my doggy pals. I'll be with you in about 5 minutes, Gordo. Same car park. Deep into woods.
But anyway, so if we hit blue lights and if we see blue lights and sirens, you've been done for peeping Tom in. Simon's put woof woof. But yeah, and I'm not bailing you out. I'll leave you in a prison cell all night.
Oh, cheers, love.
So
It's not meant to be said.
I don't know what you're on about, but anybody think I'd take bed to myself. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's and sort of that's on the lines what we were talking about earlier on. Chris made a suggestion to me, and he says, "How does this sound?" And I said, "Yeah, that, you know, it's not actually to do with photography."
Well, it is because it's taking pictures.
Yeah. So that's sort of it's an idea he's had through watching like YouTube videos about. It's all right. I'm either going to be kissed by a fool or what were it?
Oh.
When your nose itches.
Well, I don't know.
He says, when they knock at the door, just say, I don't know who he is, never seen him before.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I say, no, he don't live here. I think he's gidget wrong address, mate.
What a know.
Yeah. He sure is gidget right name and all. He's probably not who you think he is. So
Get her ideas.
you know, it's me. I've just said just as if see blue lights and sirens going, you know.
Well, there's still gits.
Lord Lucan. Oh dear. But yeah. I think this is another reason why he wants it to snow as well. He wants to capture some, you know, some snow pictures. I'll send you a link for a tutorial on how to remove the orange colour cast.
Oh.
Because I just said, like, because when you're taking photographs in kitchen, pardon me, and we've got fluorescent light on, it makes everything look orange, doesn't it?
Mm.
It says I'll send you a link for a tutorial on how to remove the orange colour cast.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember that.
You could be truthful and say it was a pixie. No, I'm denying everything. I'm pleading Fifth Amendment. Don't know him. He don't live here. I'm not married. I live here by myself. Well, I don't live here by myself. Me and my son live here. Nobody else. I don't know what his game is, but he don't live here. Yeah. Why? What's he done? No, I'd say why? What's he done? Yeah, but I deny all knowledge. I deny all knowledge of knowing him. I deny that he ever lives here or Chris who?
Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
We don't have any amendments. Yeah, but I can still plead Fifth Amendment. No comment.
Adopted American.
Yeah. Yeah. I have the right to remain silent, and that's what I'm sticking to. I was going to dye my hair and everything today, and I decided to do them cupcakes. So that'd be something that I'm.
Oh, sorry.
What were you just going to say? Oh crap!
Sounds good, guys.
Oh,
Now, it took me about half an hour to get the manual lens on.
oh. But anyway, yeah. I'll just deny any knowledge, deny knowing him, deny being married to him. But yeah, I've had this dye for my hair about 2 weeks nearly.
I've got wrong tripod out.
Ah, do you know? After all that, he's got wrong tripod out.
I am.
It says, you remain silent. Hang on, a pig just flew past the window. You know, you can fall out with people easy, you know. I bet it were.
I'm glad he said it because I get a slap.
So if I were just to sit here doing this.
It'd be one of them, what are they? What are they called?
ASMR.
Ah, them silent ones.
He said it with me. But you see, when you're on your own and you're talking, you have to keep talking, don't you? Otherwise it gets boring. If I were just to sit here and say nothing, it wouldn't be very interesting, would it? Oh, Gordon Bennett.
In about 5 minutes, Lucy.
So yes, going back to what I was saying, I've had to cut this colour, like a own colour, for about 2 weeks, and I still haven't done it yet. Obviously, we're being poorly, so I might get Mr. Peter brush up on his hair colouring skills tomorrow, because I do need his assistance. What?
Yeah, colouring skills.
Well, you only have to put gloves on and whack it on.
And then you'll say, "Oh, what you done here?"
So you just put thing in a bottle, shake it up, and then whack it on. Hey, Bella says I'm tucked up in bed. She did say to me she was going to bed early.
Oh, Bella!
Because she's got doctors in the morning. She did message me earlier on, as did Ian as well. So
no, I've got it.
You're brave, Jeanette. Well, I trust him. Well, I won't say 100% I trust him when it comes to colouring my hair. But it's got to a point now where that I can see more greys than anything else. So, but yeah. So, here's a thing. Here's a question for Wakey. Do you get the warm weather, but warm ass payment thingy from British Gas? Hey! Talker Ian, I've just said Ian messaged me and said he won't be on, and then he comes in. Yeah. He says, I wasn't going to come on, but thought I'd say hi and then bye. But yeah, like we've had our what's it payment today. Okie dokie then, Bella.
What's up?
She says, leave it till Saturday week and I'll come up and do your hair.
Oh.
No, from British Gas. That
warm weather payment.
No, warm home payment thingy. Sophie's watching Love Island.
Oh God.
But yeah, you apply for it in September at British Gas, because but I'm off before I'm shot. So you sort of came in on slide then, Ian.
Oh, go in. Got the camera out.
It might have been CCTV user. You see, we with British Gas, we both as electric and as gas, and it's called warm home payment or something, and it's there's not a lot known about it. They don't advertise the fact, but Bella told us about it because she got it. But you can only apply for it in September. So we applied for ours in September, and ours has just landed today. No, that's cold weather payment. This is if you've got your either a gas or your electric with British Gas. It's called warm home payment or something, and they give you £140. Now you apply for it in September, and you'd think that it goes towards like your eating bill during winter, but ours, in fact, it's arrived earlier this year than it did last year. We didn't get it till March last year. Bella said they asked me to be in Love Island, but I turned them down. But yeah, it's two different things, Simon.
That's all right, Bella. I did now for Britain's next model.
Yeah, right. What, modelling jock straps?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a totally different thing. It's that what for pensioners is called a cold weather payment. This is like warm home. I forget what it's called now. Warm home payment, something. But it's only run by British Gas, so you've got to be with British Gas. Because see, another thing as well is there's certain criteria for it as well. But because I rely on medical equipment, like e.g. my CPAP machine, I automatically qualify for it. You know, if you've got certain illnesses or if you go on the website, if you're a British Gas, but you see this, it's worth looking into, Simon, because until Bella told me about it, I didn't know anything about it. Now, this is the second year running we've had ours. And I think it was CCTV user says they don't advertise it. You know, I wouldn't have known about it unless Bella had told me about it. So, but you have, there's like a time frame. It starts, I think, either 1st or 2nd of September, and you've got till a certain date in September to apply for it. Now, you can apply for it online, but there's certain medical conditions. Same as I say, there's a criteria to it. You know, and the criteria that I fall under is I rely on medical equipment, which is obviously my CPAP machine. Well, you see, there you go, Simon. It's worth looking into. You see, if you go online, you go on the British Gas site, it'll ask you questions. Do you suffer with this, or does somebody in your household suffer with this? And if you answer the questions, you know, it's £140. So you can't turn your nose up at it. Because you see, we're on smart meters. We're not on quarterly or anything. It's £140 that you otherwise wouldn't have on your, you know. But yeah, it's worth looking into. Same as I say, I didn't know about it until Bella told me about it. And then I think CCTV user were on about it. And he says they basically don't want a lot of people. Bella says my criteria is I'm start raving bonkers. But It's same as I said to Chris. It's better than a poking eye with a stick. You know what I mean? It's £140 that we otherwise wouldn't have had. So, you know, it's worth looking into. You know, some as I say, just go on British Gas website. You know, Warm Home, I forget what it's called now. Bella should know what it's called. Warm Home something or other. And it's, you know, you don't have to be a certain age. You don't have to be, you know, over 65 or whatever. It's anybody can get it. But there's certain criteria about claiming it.
Starts to rain.
Oh, it's starting to rain, is it?
Starts to go short anyway.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I mean, it's worth doing, Simon. It's worth looking into. Warm home payment, that's it. I knew it was warm home something or other. But, yeah, Bella says it's called warm home payment. Just type it in search box, warm home payment.
I tried to prize her this morning, but she beat me to it.
Hey?
I tried to prize you this morning, but she beat me to it, didn't you?
Yeah, Chris says he was going to say to me, oh, I put another, because we put some on electric meter last night, and he says he was going to say to me, oh, by the way, I've put another £5 on electric, thinking I'd look at it, but as soon as I come and sat down and I looked and went, ooh, I says that money's gone on. So we went, oh, you've spoilt it now. But you can't lose anything, you know, you either get it or you don't, but you can't apply now until September. So it'd be worth you know, looking into it for, you know, future reference for September. But there's only certain dates you can apply for it, and it's got to be in September. So, but same as I say, it's come through a bit earlier this year than it did last year. We didn't get it till about March last year. So, you know, it's, you know, it has come through a little bit sooner this year. I don't know whether that will cost me, mind you, having said that, Bella's had it for years now, and I messaged her this morning and says, you know, we've had our payment, have you had yours? And she said no. So we more or less, within a few days of each other last year, we both got it. So no, we got like a letter, and you take that into the post office and it goes on that way. Well, because of weather and everything, Chris took Callum to college, and he comes past post office on his way back. So he says that all I did was take letter with me.
No, I got letter
after you come back. Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, we get on in form of a letter. You just take it into post office, the stamp barcode or whatever, and then it goes automatically straight onto your meter. But it don't go straight onto meter. We get in like letter form. And it says, take this into your nearest post office, or pay zone, because it's gone from pay point now to pay zone. Get them to scan it, and it goes automatically onto your meter that way. But he has to physically go into post office to scan this letter thing. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to pop off. I need little girl's room, and I'll be back on Wednesday. So thank you, Bella, for coming in. Thank you, Wakey and Simon and everybody else that's been in tonight. And I shall see you on Wednesday. See you later, Bella. See you later, Steve. Bye.